Good morning, guys. This is Miss Watson again, and this is your second assignment for week 2. Sorry, I've got sinus allergy stuff. But yeah, this is your second assignment for week 2, so this will be the last thing you need to work on for me. If you haven't done assignment number 1, do that one first, just so that you understand this one a little bit better. Alright, so I'm going to talk through this slideshow and then show you some examples. And I'm hoping this is just going to be one video, but it could be 2, so we'll see. Alright, so the assignment is personal mandalas. A lot of you have probably seen an image that looks like this before. They are really popular with the like adult coloring book scene, which are really cool and would be a really good thing to do during this time if you're bored. Another idea, if you're interested in images like this, I've seen people download these images onto their Chromebook, put it in the Autodesk Sketchbook app, and then you can color on the app instead of coloring with real color pencils and that sort of thing. Something to do if you're bored. So, excuse me. Alright, this is a simple mandala, one that you might see in a coloring book like that. Whenever you do yours, keep in mind that I don't want you to find something like this online and copy it. I'm going to talk more about the requirements for yours, but you want it to be original. But this is, this is probably an image that you're familiar with. Mandalas are radially symmetrical, so that's from yesterday. So if you were to fold it horizontally in half, if you were to fold it vertically in half, if you were to fold it diagonally in half, everything lines up. So you have to have that line up if you want full credit on this assignment. And this assignment is going to be an assessment grade, whereas the other 2, 3 that you've done have been daily grades. So this one will count like a test grade. But see, so it makes almost like a piece of a pizza. Each piece is exactly the same. Now there are ways to do this where each piece doesn't have to be exactly the same and it's still radially symmetrical. And if you can figure out how to do that, and if this intrigues you, then I encourage you to do that, but I won't get too far into the advanced way to do it. Alright. More lines. Symmetry, yay! We learned about that yesterday. So just to review, yesterday we talked about symmetrical balance and asymmetrical balance. So when we talk about symmetry, we're talking about a reflection, we're talking about a mirror image. When we're talking about asymmetry, we're talking about not a mirror image. And then radial symmetry is what we're talking about whenever we look at mandalas, and they radiate out from the center, and they're symmetrical in every direction as long as you're slicing it equally, I guess. My dog's barking. I gotta go get her off the bed. Hold on. Okay, sorry. Do you guys have pets? They're making this really hard on me, so I can't keep my cats off of the table, and the dogs are constantly wanting in and out. Anyway, we are going to watch a quick video. I would usually show the full video in class, and we would talk about it. I'm out of breath. That's really sad. But I'm afraid if I just post the video, a lot of you will not watch it, so I'm going to make you watch just a little bit of it here. So what are mandalas? Where do they come from? I'm going to mute it because I don't know what it will sound like for you. But mandalas traditionally come from the Tibetan Buddhist tradition or religion. And these are some Buddhist monks starting to make a mandala. And that's the Dalai Lama right there, so he's pretty important. He's not involved in every mandala, but he's involved in this one apparently. So what they're using right there is a chalk line. If you've ever done any construction, or maybe your dad has one, it's this line, and when you pull it and you let it go, it's got blue chalk on it. Looks like this one's white, but usually here in America it's blue chalk and it makes a straight line. So they're making their measurements, and they're laying out what they're going to make in chalk. And then I believe the Dalai Lama is blessing the mandala here. And I am not trying to convert you to Buddhism. This is just where the mandala comes from. We're not going to do one based on how they do it. Okay, here we go. So, they're wearing masks because the coloring here is sand. So they're using these tools to scrape sand really slowly into the designated areas. And so whereas you're going to use like a pencil or a pen, maybe color pencil marker, depending on what you have at home, they're using sand, colored sand. I'm assuming they put that up so that no one can bother it, or maybe just for wind's sake. And they are moving along. This takes weeks to create, like multiple weeks. And they come in and they work it like a job. So they come in and they work like 8 hours on this mandala. They go home and they come back the next day. And I think that might be... Okay, this is the end. Okay, so let me go back a little bit. So usually when we watch this in class, I just kind of wait for someone to become outraged. Because see if you can tell what they're doing here. They've finished it at this point. Yeah, they're totally destroying it. So they're just using their hands to wipe the sand away. We're going to talk about what this means in a second. And then they're just, you know, brushing it up. Hundreds of hours of work just getting piled into a dustpan. And they're putting it into an urn, like you would someone's ashes. And this is the final ceremony here. Here comes another cat. Maybe I can catch one of them at the end of the video. You guys can see. And so they send the urn off into the water. There we go. So there he is pouring it into the river. So think about the significance of that for just a second. Why would they want to destroy what they made and then pour it into a river? And there's Tibet, in case you were curious. I'm really bad at geography, so I don't know if you guys are. So the mandala for them, I just pulled this quote from the internet because I didn't think I could say it any better. The mandala for the Tibetan monks represents an imaginary place that's contemplated during meditation. Each object in the palace has significance, or in the mandala, representing an aspect of wisdom or reminding the meditator of a guiding principle. The mandala's purpose is to help transform ordinary minds into enlightened ones and to assist with healing. So, for them, each design in the mandala represents something about healing or about life or reminding them something about meditation. And it's a meditation for them to actually make it. And yours will feel like this too, because once you get the basic design down, you'll just be able to go and go and go, and it should feel kind of like you're in the flow of things or you're meditating a little bit. And then the reason why they wipe it away is it was more about the doing of it, right? It was more about the meditation than the product. So they don't care about the product. They wipe it away and they put it in the urn. They take it to the river. And if you think about where a river flows, it flows into other rivers. It flows into the ocean. And it reaches lots of people, right? So for them, they're passing on the ideas of the mandala and the things that it meant to everyone in the world. So that's where they come from traditionally. So how does this apply to what you are going to do? Your assignment is to create a mandala that includes symbols about you, not about Tibetan Buddhist monks. There are only 3 things I want you to do. So It has to be about you. You have to use radial symmetry. Okay, so you got to be careful with that. And you have to use 5 symbols in your work. Okay. So we haven't talked too much about symbols in class, but I'm going to show you some examples here in just a second. So how are you going to start this? And just a side note, I'm going to post this slideshow, so you can go back and look at these slides if you want to. And I'm also going to post some further resources on the page, so don't be afraid. So what makes you who you are? Is it your taste in music? Is it the sports that you play? Is it your character? Is it your family, where you came from? So think about that, and that's kind of how you could start thinking about what symbols you're going to choose for your mandala. And then once you've thought about this, ask yourself, what visual symbols could you use for the things that are on your list? And you have to have 5. So how's this going to be graded? It's going to be graded just like this. So your rubric is the same as your assignment. You have a lot of freedom with this. You can use any material that you want, because some people at home may just have pencil and paper. If that's you, then you're going to use pencil and paper. If you've got other things at home that you want to experiment with, by all means do that. But your mandala needs to include 5 symbols about you. You're going to write the explanation of these symbols either on the back or another sheet of paper. You're going to turn in photos of both. Your mandala has to use radial symmetry, and it has to be finished and fill the page. So if you don't fill the page, you won't get full credit. And by fill the page, I don't mean it has to be completely filled in everywhere. You can have some white space. Okay, so I hope that this works for you. I haven't tried it with the screencast yet, but here's some examples that I have from past students who never came to get their work. This person, the mandala is really nice. They've used color pencil, and they've done some shading techniques that look pretty cool. Their symbols were flower for love, music notes, ocean waves, chain links for friends and family. So your symbol can be really, really simple. And circles to represent makeup palettes, because she was into makeup. So ocean, friends and family. Yeah, it's a nice one. All right, this one I really like because of the shading. She's used a gradient in places, and then she's got a couple other symbols on the edges here that you can't see too well. Now notice everything's radially symmetrical, right? So if you were to cut things in half, actually I don't know if these lines are, I don't know. I don't have time, I only have 15 minutes and it cuts me off. Okay, their symbols, she used the color blue as a symbol, calm when she listens to music. Red for the love of her family. Mountains because she loves nature. Oh, the cat's on the computer. He's okay, I swear. And flower for her love of drawing. And then a cross for her faith. So those were her symbols. This one is a lot more dynamic in the way that it looks. So they've used Sharpie, they've used some color pencil, really like busy in here, but it's cool because she's got this busyness, but she's also got gaps of white space, so it looks really good, I think. And she's got a sunset, she's got volleyballs, she's got flowers, she's got family, and she's shown that with just a little stick figure. And then the black and white symbolizes something, but I can't make it out. So there was that one. And then I have 30 seconds left, and I am going to have to make another short video, and I'm sorry. This was the last one that I found, and this was not for this assignment. It was for a different assignment, but it fits this assignment. There's no symbols written on the back because, like I said, it wasn't created for this assignment. But I really liked the clean lines here, and I like this white space. So you can have white space as long as it looks intentional. And they've used a pen and Sharpie. So I thought this would be a good one to show with not in color or anything like that, that you might be able to make at home. So I'm going to make another short video. I'm not going to do a demo for this one because I want you guys to kind of problem solve, and I don't want it to be a specific way. So I don't feel the need to do that, but I'm going to show you how to start thinking about getting started on the next video. So please watch the next video. Thank you guys.